We used to go on a live and literally lift 50 quid. Now we're going on lives and hitting 100,000, 200,000. TikTok has presented us with so many amazing opportunities along the way. How do we make this go viral? Strategy for us going on at the start was finding one product. It's something that everyone can use, it's easy to use, and you get amazing results. See women in business right now on TikTok Shop, they are smashing it. We still don't know if there's longevity in this platform. They actually subsidise and support you a lot.
Okay, so there's no other platform supporting people like this?
I feel like there's no limit. If you want something, you can go and get it. Don't overthink your setup. A tripod, an iPhone, and us click and go. For anybody looking to start, just do it. TikTok might kill me for saying this, but...
Welcome to the Dig podcast. I am your host and I am honoured to be your host. My name is Caroline O'Neill and the Dig podcast is my passion, telling real stories from real people about work, about life, about challenges, about the good times and the bad times. And I'm honoured to have you listen each week. So I want to ask you for a wee bit of help today, if you can help me. So thousands of you listen to the podcast each week, which I'm so grateful for. But there's still people, and I do this as well, but they haven't hit that subscribe button or that follow button. So if you listen on YouTube, for example, if you hit subscribe, or if you listen on Apple or Spotify, if you hit follow, it just takes a second, then it means the podcast can grow and I can keep reaching out to people and getting those great guests with all that great advice for you, the listener. So that's just a wee ask from me to you today. And now we're going to hear from our amazing sponsor, and we couldn't make it happen without them. People don't just want to be sold to anymore. They want help. They want to know where they're at, what's working, and what they need to do next. That's why quizzes and scorecards, they work so well, and ScoreApp makes it easy to build one. You create a short set of questions based on your expertise, and within minutes, your audience gets a personalised result with clear next steps. It's like giving every potential customer a mini strategy session, and they love it. In return, you grow your email list with people who actually want what you offer, and you gain insights into what they need the most. ScoreApp helps you give value first and grow faster because of it. To try out ScoreApp, visit scoreapp.com/dig. Record-breaking online sales through TikTok Shop, the most ever in a 12-hour live stream. And we're going to find out how. Today on the Dig podcast, I am speaking to Michéal Campbell, who's the marketing manager at Voduz. And boy, do they know how to create a buzz online, how to hit record-breaking sales, sell live, continually sell out their products. And I want to know how. I'm sure you all do too, because it's a topic that I know some people are afraid of and haven't embraced yet. But when you do, great things happen. He's going to tell us everything. I know it. He's brilliant. Michéal, thank you for being on the Dig podcast.
Thank you for having me. It is an absolute honour. I absolutely love your content, love working with you, just love everything about you. So complete honour for me and the brand as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And I am honoured because this is the second time you've ever been in a podcast, and the first one was with TikTok.
Yes.
So I'm honoured to have you and to be able to secure you here today. And I know you're so good at telling us how to do things, and that's what the Dig podcast listener wants, people who actually share their advice. So take us back, tell us, what is TikTok Shop? What is live shopping? What is that?
So for us, TikTok Shop came around about three and a half years ago. And there was we were probably one of the first to onboard us alongside Be Perfect, and we were just trying to figure it out. So before anyone thinks, how do I get into TikTok Shop? It's almost just thinking about, what can I get from TikTok Shop? What do you want to get from TikTok Shop? Whatever you want is theirs for the taking. So we just wanted to treat it as a brand new platform, just treat it completely differently to online, wholesale, and just have fun with it. And that's where it started for us. So strategy for us going on at the start was finding one product, which is our Velvet Crown. It's something that everyone can use, it's easy to use, and you get amazing results. So we went down the route of, how do we make this go viral? So it was showing off how amazing this is in video format and educational format through our own tone of voice, but then also giving it to the customers for an amazing price. Get this into as many people's hands as possible in a short period of time. Now it's evolved and evolved and evolved, and now TikTok Shop has just exploded everywhere. But because we've been on board from the beginning, TikTok has presented us with so many amazing opportunities along the way, and with that came a lot of learnings. So we're still learning every day, and we still treat it as a completely different platform, because even though it's an amazing platform, we still don't know if there's longevity in this platform. So for us, we keep our security blanket that's our online store, because that's where we get our most margin. That's where we have our customers and our customer data. And that's one thing as well that I want people to understand as well, is the importance of customer data. So protect your online store, because you don't get any customer data from TikTok Shop. So for me, that's a massive downfall, because we can't like retarget them again. So we have to be reactive in our own way and constantly pushing out more content, more live streams, shouting about us on the platform, where it's a little bit easier on your online store, because you get that data and you can use it time and time and time again.
Okay, so at the start then it was all like an education piece for people who were listening, getting it into the hands as you talked about. So you have a decrease. Whenever you go on TikTok Shop, I think you educate me, I don't know much about it, but it has to be cheaper than anywhere else. Isn't that the
consumer,
really?
yes, the consumers definitely came into that as their mind frame once they go onto that platform. Now you can be smart about it, and we definitely are smart, because your prices can show lower. TikTok might kill me for saying this, but they actually subsidize and support you a lot. So for example, Velvet Crown is $24.99 retail price. I could have that on as $24.99, but TikTok might give you, Caroline, as a first time shopper on the platform, 40% off through a voucher. So you'll get 40% off your RRP, but we receive the full whack for that.
Okay.
So it's really, really good for businesses, because you're getting the interest from the customer. TikTok will subsidize you on that, but you're still getting your full whack out of it, even though on top of that there is, you'll pay commissions out or whatever it is to the platform. So whenever you look at it that way, you're still not getting your full whack, but you are in a sense. More so from a business mind to a consumer mind, they're thinking this is great, this is so cheap, how is that business making anything from it? But I suppose that's the little secret sauce that people don't know about.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So I suppose get that negative mindset out of your head, because you're saying there you don't get the full whack, but you don't get the full whack when you do it on your website either, because you're thinking, well, you have to pay your website providers and your staff for managing that. So there is a cost with every kind of platform, but that's great for people to know that are listening, that it's subsidized by TikTok. So is that all when... we'll jump onto that bit, but just to say now, is that when you're setting up your TikTok shop, that's just something that's automatically activated?
Yes, so that applies for any businesses. Now, as you grow on that platform, they reward you with different opportunities. So for example, like you mentioned there, the record breaking live, they put heavy investment into that, and through the heavy investment we received ads traffic, we received subsidies, we received vouchers. So there's loads of different ways that they can like invest in you as a brand. But for anybody, any business that wants to start, if you're a first time customer, it doesn't matter what shop page you land on, what product you buy, you will get that voucher. So every single user on the platform will avail of a first time customer voucher.
Okay, so there's no other platform supporting people like this for any kind
No.
of selling, like?
No, and I always say, whenever me and Aoife's on a live, we always refer to it as a shop. So if you're going live, people often ask us, how long should I go live for? How often should I go live for? It's treating it like a shop front. So you need to know, like if I go down to Rushmere and I say, right, well, I know H&M or whatever shop is opened 9 to 5 every single day, you need to give your customer that same mind frame, so they know, okay, so Voduz is live tonight and they're on 7 to 10, so they're 7 to 10 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so they get into that mind frame. But then it's also like, when would you ever walk into a shop and they say, here's £5 off? It's a very rare thing. So for us to explain to a customer, like, TikTok's giving you £5 off here, please make use of it, because you're not going to get that anywhere else. So it's a really unique experience.
It is, and that is, I didn't really, and the way you're talking about there, that's a strategy behind having your shop on there, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
people knowing that's what
so many ways.
So are you use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do you do it like that, or are you once every so often?
Oh, now we're every day. We're near enough every day, yeah. We try and stick to 7 to 10, so that would be, or 6 to 10. So we're always within that time frame, because it's when people start to unwind, they've had their dinner. If they have kids, the kids are away to bed, so that's their me time, and that's the perfect time for someone to be scrolling. So we want to be the faces that people see whenever they're scrolling at night time as they're unwinding and thinking to shop.
Okay, so a lot of work going on planning this before it actually happens. Before we go on to like the setup and how to actually technically do it, what type of product, like you're saying there, the Velvet Crown is a viral product for you. What is the types of products in your experience of seeing things that are best suited for live shopping? Like, can you sell anything? I know people sell toilet roll and everything.
Yes, I feel like there's no limit, like no limit. There's suitcases, there's toilet roll, makeup, hair products, sweets, like literally anything goes. It's just about how you sell that product. Like, why is that product different to any other product that you can get? So you literally anything.
Okay, okay, right. So that's opening it up to everybody here that's listening. So how do you like? Let's strip it right back because people sometimes get overwhelmed by the tech side of things and the logistics. How do you set up a TikTok shop?
It's pretty straightforward. Now at the start they were hand selective and TikTok Ireland just launched. So for us that was like setting up the business again because they treat that as two different platforms. So we now run two separate TikTok shops. So whenever we heard wind of TikTok Ireland coming, we said, great, happy days, we have everything set up. But it wasn't the case. And that was down to EU regulations being different to the ones in the UK. So the way that we set up our shop and the way that we set up our products is completely different to how we do it on the UK. So we're now running essentially two different businesses, but on the same platform. So managing even that in itself is hard because that's two different live times. If you're uploading one product, you have to do it twice. It's the same offer on both platforms. But for someone just looking to set up one, whether it's in Ireland or whether it's in the UK, it is pretty straightforward. You just need to have your business documents to say we actually are an official business, and they will quickly connect you to an account manager, as they would call it. So we have an account manager who manages like targets for us. Any opportunities coming up, they'll put us into campaigns. They'll just like keep us in the loop of everything going on. And from that, it loops back to them to give us the opportunities of subsidies, vouchers, anything like that. So it's a massive business. It's a business in itself. I often say to Brendan and Denise, like, this could be my full-time job because you get so immersed in it, because it takes you in, you see the amazing opportunities, and then you get hooked. So it's always running to the next goal. How are we going to get to this? How are we going to get to that? Then you're always thinking, like, I'm so competitive. And because we have Be Perfect in-house as well, we have really healthy competition. They're probably one of the top 3 beauty brands on there. We're probably one of the top 3 hair brands. So even for us, we're still small Irish businesses based in Lisburn, creating this chaos in the UK and beyond on TikTok Shop for us is just incredible. So the feeling, and like I feel so proud of my team, and I know Brendan and Denise feel very proud of the wider team. So what we've achieved in such a small space of time as a small business from Northern Ireland, there's no one that's listening right now that can't do that as well. Like people often say, like they'll compare themselves to us. And I'm like, we used to go on a live and literally lift 50 quid in 3 hours. Now we're going on lives and hitting 100,000, 200,000. So if you want it, and I always believe if you want something, you can go and get it and you can have it all. Like that's often what I say. And I always say this to Brendan. He's just had the baby and he's
Just
now trying to balance.
people who listening won't know the connection there about Voodoo and Be Perfect.
Yes, so Voduz is the sister company of Be Perfect, which is Be Perfect solely owned by Brendan McDowell, and then Voduz was Brendan and then Denise. So Denise Phillips is a trichologist. She's from Dublin, down in the Republic of Ireland. So she has been in the hair industry for 20 years. And she's just finishing, she's a registered trichologist, so she's going through her exams, all whilst being a mum, having Voduz as a business and also having 4 salons. And then you have Brendan, who is what I say is the marketing mastermind behind, and everything that I've learned has came from him. And I'm sure a lot of people listening will know Be Perfect. They just exploded onto the scene and there's just no slowing down with them. So it's a perfect blend as Denise and Brendan as 2 owners, but also as 2 businesses working alongside each other, because everyone needs hair products and everyone needs their makeup. So that's often where we find massive success on TikTok, is blending both brands together. And so we've done at times like Brendan's top picks where it'll be a straightener or a tool, something of high value, alongside something like a tan or a makeup palette or whatever it may be. And in one live stream, we sold something like, I think it was close to like 100k in value of one bundle from Brendan's. So that's the link, and it's just a perfect harmony. Like we just work so well together as businesses, and as teams as well.
You really do, because you'd be going to Be Perfect things and then you'd be jumping on a live with Voodoo, but it works because you all have the same kind of values and ethos of what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And you can see the magic that happens. I'm like, what could I sell? And whenever you're talking, I'm like, what could I be on TikTok shop for? But so let's take it back, right? So we've set up our shop, we're ready to go. And that support that you talked about there, direct from TikTok, is that just for people like Voodoo and Be Perfect? I know you said Voodoos, I always say Voodoos and Be Perfect. Or does everybody get support when they start, like an account manager?
It's completely changed. So whenever there was a lot of support because it was a brand new platform and TikTok wanted everybody on that platform. So at the very beginning, it was completely different. They gave you a lot to get you onto that platform. Now it's changed, so I'm not fully aware of what they give you.
At the start.
And one thing I do know is that they do give customers that first time voucher. So if you're still a business coming on, you're still like gonna avail of some sort of help from them, which is definitely in the form of getting new customers onto your platform and getting it like products into their hands. Now for a business, I'm not 100% sure, but for us at the time, it was heavy subsidies. So if we sold something for £10, they were giving us £7 back in subsidy, which is huge, 70% back in subsidy. So we were able to sell it to the customer for £3, just for an example, but that's the kind of support that they were giving you. Now it's a little bit harder, and I'm very much, and Aoife, who's behind the camera, will agree with me, I'm very argumentative when it comes to standing up for our business. Like, if I want something and if they want something, I hate saying this about TikTok, but they often pull a lot out of you. So I always say to them, well, what do we get back for doing this? And whenever I say they pull a lot out of you, whenever your brand gets to a certain stage of success, they want you to maintain that. And it can be very tough because that is a lot of resources from your business. It's a lot of thinking and a lot of product, a lot of price strategy. There's a lot that goes into that. So I think argumentative is probably the wrong word because it sounds quite negative, and I'm not a negative person, but I'm very much, if you want something from me, you have to give the same back. So I guess, I don't know what the best way to describe it, but
the best interest of the business as well as they're looking out for themselves. You just have to look out for you.
Yeah, and we had one of the best account managers, and she just left before Christmas, and I remain friends with her. I actually just met her in Dublin there recently. She's working for another company now. She was like, you're my favorite company. You're the best person that I work with because you understand how this works as much as we understand how this works, and that's why you're successful on this platform. And that just stood by me because I was like, I'm actually doing this right, and I'm seeing the success, they're seeing our success, and we're both actually collaborating on the success together rather than it being one-sided, which I feel like a lot of brands will probably fail because they'll get almost swept up in it is demanded from TikTok, don't get me wrong, but once they see you getting that success, then they start to collaborate with you more often, and you can kind of pull the strings a little bit more from your side.
Okay, let's hope we all get to that stage where we even have that problem. So, but that's interesting to know, and I suppose you do need to be aware of it because you still have to protect what you've built up and not devalue it in that way. So there is account support there, maybe at different levels for different people, but it is there at the start with the vouchers and stuff. So what other things have you seen? You're like, oh, that's brilliant what they're doing there. I know I didn't have that on my list, but I'm just wondering, like, use of your viral accounts, or any other businesses that you see doing great things on TikTok shop?
I was just on a panel with Lucy from Her Syrup, which is a brand. She was just recently on Dragon's Den. Now, we were actually, I don't know if I should even say this on the podcast, before she went on Dragon's Den, Arushi, who was the account manager that I was talking about, managed them as well.
Okay.
So we were actually in talks about doing a bundle together. Now, nothing ever came from it. It was just down to time and whatever.
Yeah.
But whenever I actually finally got meeting her recently, her story, she's changed her business within 6 months. Like, she went on Dragon's Den, she got rejected from Dragon's Den, and her marketing was phenomenal. What she took out of that experience was just, you would never expect that from somebody. She took the negative and just completely twisted the narrative, and her business has exploded. And props to her. I think she's younger than me, so I'm 28. She'd be younger than 28. I think she's about 26. She's doing amazing. And I was sat with women, and I was like, I am privileged to sit with these women. See women in business right now on TikTok shop, especially founder led businesses with women. They are smashing it. And my team is predominantly women as well. And the growth of my team. So for me, women in business on TikTok shop are smashing it, and that's one thing that I love as well. And even on Be Perfect as well. Now it's not it's not female founded, but it's very much female led with a 90% workforce. So watching Lucy, her like strategy was just absolutely phenomenal, and I think that's a bit untouchable as well. What she done was so unique. So I love watching her, and even though she's a competitor of ours, I don't even say it like that because she sells different products. She has a different story. We're completely selling different things here. So getting to meet her, like, love chatting to her, and I just love watching what she's doing on there.
I follow her on LinkedIn, but not so much on TikTok. But I will be going to see now what she's
Yeah,
doing on TikTok.
it was amazing.
Okay, right. That's another person to look at, because sometimes you need to see how other people are doing things to figure out how
Yeah.
you're going to navigate that. Right. Let's talk strategy for this. So we've decided we're going to go live. Is there, when you said 6 till 11 or 7 to 11, because that's like a wind down time for people, is that a good rule of thumb really for shopping?
Yeah, we found like a lot of trial and error. We used to always stick to one day a week. It was 10 to 12 on a Friday, and that was very, very early stages. And quickly people knew that then, like, it goes back to the shop, like thinking of a consumer, when's this shop going to be open? How can I get in to view this shop? So it was always 10 to 12. It's just being consistent with it. And we just done a little, once that was our consistent weekly, then from then we branched out, and that's where we started to experiment. So we kept our 10 to 12 on a Friday. Then we trialed different things. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. But we learned from everything that we done. And often people say, it's like, what would you do different? And I'm like, nothing. I would never change anything that we done. Even if we did lift 50 pounds on a live, we still learned something from it, and we still were able to take those learnings and evolve them into the next live, make the changes, do something better. And everything that we've done has led to where we are today. So I often say, like, and they're like, what, you wouldn't change anything? I'm like, no, not a thing would I change.
Such a good way to look at it, because if you soul destroy and only sell £50, but as you say, then you're like, right, now we need
Yeah.
to change this because this didn't
But
work.
then I sound like a psycho, because then I often say to me, it's not about the money, and and it is.
It's all
It's a
about the
business.
money.
It's a business. Your business
Not
can't run without money.
Yeah.
And even Brennan and Denise, they laugh at me because I'm like, now I'll give you one thing. For me, at one stage, it did become about the money. So I've completely flipped my mentality, and it came from after we done the record breaking live, which was over 400,000 in 12 hours. They had gave us another target. They called these showcase lives. So that's where they give you a lot of investment and they give you a crazy target. Now we smashed our target. I think the first target was 200,000. We done over 400,000. So immediately my expectations went from here to here, and that's where they were. So I was like almost a little bit cocky going into the second one, and the second one didn't do as well. And then I was getting annoyed at myself. What did I do wrong? What did I do different? And then I just took a step back, and I was actually with Brendan. I just took a step back because he was feeling it the way that I was feeling it. And I actually just looked at him and said, are we going a bit mad here? Because we've just lifted 6 figures on a live and we're disappointed. Like, we need to really look at ourselves and check ourselves. And he was like, do you know what? You're right. Like, we've kind of lost ourselves in all of this. And we both agreed that we did. And see, once you pull yourself back and don't get lost in the noise of it all, just stay to your core and be like, okay. Because then I take myself back to when we done 50 pounds in a live, and then I'm like, wise up, Michéal. Come on, you're smashing it. You're doing it really, really well. So it was just, and it's good because again, it falls back to everything that we do, we learn from. And like, I'm not ashamed to say that, yes, I was upset that we done 6 figures. And I know that sounds like I am a psychopath.
Yes.
But I was in that moment.
I know.
But then it's just about checking yourself and moving forward and learning and evolving and just feeling proud of what you've achieved.
So true.
You're looking at me here like, what is he? What's coming out of his mouth?
No, I can hear the same, because you were so psyched at the 400,000. Then
Yeah.
you weren't psyched when it was still, like, think about what you're doing, selling live. When would you ever have got that opportunity before in your life?
Yeah.
And now businesses are getting this opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah, clap yourself on is my message there. When you hit 6
100%.
figures, hit any figures.
Like, I've been with Voduz 6 years now, and like whenever I started, it was only like 6 months old. So like, we wouldn't have lifted 6 figures in a month or 2 months, never mind in 12 hours. So I always take myself back there whenever I kind of lose the run of myself. And I'm actually fine admitting that. Like, I think anybody that works in business or anybody that works in kind of this live selling or just target reaching or goal setting in general, you do feel upset whenever you don't hit your target. Like, that's normal. You're a human being. But I think it's even more human to say, do you know what? I was caught up in that moment and I need to check myself and move on.
Yeah, it's good advice. Hopefully it's advice we might need if or people listening.
So don't get caught up in the figures if you're listening.
Yeah, when you hit the hundreds of thousands, just remember where you came from was the
Yes.
message. Right, this is getting everybody excited now and they haven't tried it before. They might be thinking about embracing it. What do they need to live sell? Is this like a lot of tech? What are we talking about here?
No,
Equipment?
keep it simple. Phone, a light, hit go, and somebody behind the camera. Obviously you can't live stream if no one's talking, but that's all you need. And that's, again, even whenever we done the showcase lives, they will send you in a team from China, and they will send all this equipment. It's like being in a television studio and it's amazing. But we didn't authentically feel like we were being ourselves because it was a completely different setup to what we were used to, which is a tripod, an iPhone, and us click and go. And it's really simple. Like we took that record-breaking live with a tripod, with an iPhone and lights. It was that simple. So don't overthink your setup.
Okay.
Now we have evolved whenever we first done it, it was literally like a pull-up banner, a couple of products set on the table, and then hit go. Now we do have our own built-in studio, but we still stream through our phone. So you can evolve over time, but just keep your core like simple. What you need: your phone, your tripod, and your people. That's it.
Okay, right. That's good to know. So any of us can do it, is what I take from that.
And you can do it from home as well. It doesn't need to be in a studio. It doesn't need to be in a fancy setup. It can be in your car, and maybe not in your bathroom, but anywhere, any location is suitable as long as it works for your business, as long as it makes sense for your business.
Yeah. Okay. So can you schedule the lives? Do people know you're going to go live, or how does that work?
Yes, so that is something that we do more. We don't do that daily because that again falls back into the consumer thoughts of being like, okay, so we know they're going to be live. Whereas if we have something like a 12-hour live, so we'll tend to do like a 12-hour live once a month, and we'll do a showcase live maybe once every other month. So if we do something like that we want to create noise about and we want to offer something different on that live, you can create something which is called a live event. And through that, you can get people to sign up. So as soon as you click live, they will get like a push notification to their phone which will say, Voduz is now live, come join us.
Okay.
So we do that on our bigger lives. I don't really think it's necessary to do it daily because everyone's not going to sign up every single day of the week to watch your live. Be strategic about it. And one thing you can do with that then once you set up your live event is you can, what we call is preheat. So create your preheat strategy. Usually we aim to do it 7 days out from whenever you go live. So it might be something as simple as posting a video on your feed being like, hey guys, we're going live on this date from this time and we're going to offer X, Y, and Z. Click the link below to sign up. And you can do that on different like content pillars. So it might be an educational one, it might be a fun one. One that works for us very well is the staff. Like the staff behind Voduz and Be Perfect have become such a big part of the brands, and people trust in us and have got to know us as people. So people often see if Brendan goes on the live, it's like chaos, it just erupts in terms of sales, viewers, everything. So we always try and steal Brendan for that kind of content because we know we're going to get good returns. So it depends, but I definitely for a daily live, no, you can just use videos to promote it. You don't need to create an event, but for bigger events, just do your preheat and get your live event set up.
Okay. And do you know what I think is probably good is people need to get on this platform and start to look at all how you do, like you're saying, preheat and all. That's obviously self-explanatory when you start clicking buttons and figuring out what's coming up and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's something like that is not easily learned from somebody saying it. You have to get in there, don't you, and figure it out.
You have to experiment, and I think we've tried almost everything on the platform. Like whenever we're starting to gain a bit of traction, any opportunity that came like to me from our account manager, it was always yes, yes, yes. When do you need me to do that? Yes, yes, yes. I'm not very much a no person now. I pick and choose because from experience I know what works for us.
Yeah.
Whereas at the start I was like, get me in, let me learn everything. And now I know, I don't know everything, but I'm always willing to learn. But I know a good bulk of it, that I know what works for us. But for anybody looking to start, just do it. Like feel the fear and do it anyway. Like I know a lot of people have the fear of live streaming, but there's other ways to sell on TikTok Shop. So if you're not comfortable right now to do live streaming, you can sell through your videos. So if you are pushing out onto other social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, anything like that, you can just use that content. If it's already banked and you have it and you're pushing it out to other ones, you can literally link your shop. So you work for us, so you always do, like, if you're doing rollers in your hair or whatever, you can literally use your content that you've produced for us, and then you can push that onto your own page and tag the product. It's really that simple. So there's loads of other
Why am
ways.
I not doing that?
I know. Well,
But-
actually, we have to put an agreement here. We're going to do it live in the podcast. That Caroline has to come on and do it live. So sure. So we have to do that.
Challenge. So you mean me come and do a live with
With
Voduz?
us, yes.
With my rollers in, no doubt. There's a catch. I have
Yes.
to arrive with my rollers in, no doubt.
Yeah.
Right, okay. No bother. I'd love to do that because I'd love to see how it works. But what you're saying to me there as a content creator, so this is for content creators that might be listening, and I'm predominantly on Instagram. I do have TikTok, just haven't really maximised it or utilised it much. Are you saying that really perhaps that I'm showing the rollers and the Voduz stuff, that I could put that up on TikTok, tag your products?
Tag the products, yeah.
And then how is that directly affiliated to me then? Is there a tracking where you would know those are coming from me?
Yes, so it's, if you can confirm this, is it 1,000 or 2,000 followers you need to have to join as an affiliate?
Oh, right.
So once you hit that milestone as a creator, you can automatically go on to the affiliate marketplace and you will open up millions of products. So all you need to do is add to your showcase. So I'll go on to Caroline's page. You will have like 3 little tabs, and one will be a shop tab. You can add all of your favorite products in there. And if I'm on your page, I click into that product, add it into my basket and check out. You'll get commission for that.
No, I never knew it. The rollers are going to be on TikTok tonight. I didn't really realise that, you know.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable for a content creator. I'm sure I'm maybe in the only one that doesn't know this. Everybody else does, but that's amazing. So many different ways to maximise
there's
it.
so many different ways, and like people's lives have changed as content creators. TikTok's created this different, and I spoke about this recently whenever I was on a panel at Econ. Was TikTok's created this new creator. I hate using the word influencers because I know influencers hate that as well. It's a very, people don't know how to use that word, I guess, correctly. So we often would just say a creator, but like creators have came from nowhere and they've changed their lives. And the thing with TikTok as well is it's not a numbers game.
Yeah.
So people who, like, we often go on to like our affiliate side of things because we can track how much people are making and how much they're making us and how much they're making themselves. And like, it's often people with like 2,000, 3,000 micro like creators are bringing in like tens of thousands of pounds in sales. And there's one creator that sticks out. I'm not going to say any names, but like who we have a great relationship with and we met through TikTok Shop. And they're bringing home, like, now this is just not on Voduz products, but they do sell a lot of different brands and products. They're bringing home 50 grand a month in commission for themselves.
Wow.
So it's just a platform for businesses, for creators, for literally for anybody that has an interest in social media. You can change your life on it. It's mad. I wish it was me taking home 50k a month, but it's not. But
you need to get on there and get them rollers in on the velvet crown. Well, you are on there, but maybe Michéal in his own right needs to be on there. But that's so interesting, isn't it? And you know, it's so exciting too when it's done right and it's done in a positive way and genuine way. Like, you know, I think I did hear a negative kind of spin on that creator type where they were just on selling everything and anything and putting the links up and it was of no real relevance. I think you still have to keep those values, don't you, as a person and a brand. Otherwise, you're just not going to have that long-term kind of impact. But right, okay, there's me roped into live on the podcast. So what? So that was the next thing. It was about hosting and being part of it. Like, what makes somebody, you know, a good host? You guys have that nailed for your audience, but what do you think makes a good host on TikTok live shopping?
I just think someone that one knows the product. You need to know the product that you're selling. That's the important thing, and just being fun and welcoming. It's really, really, really that simple. You want your audience to trust you, so you need to be able to inform them about the products, inform them about the price, but also just be yourself on there. Don't get caught up in being like, oh, well, I seen such and such doing this in the live and this is the way that I need to act. We don't do that at all. Like, our lives are completely different to other brands' lives. And if we tried what another brand is doing, it's probably not going to work for us because people have came to know that we're a little bit crazy and we're a little bit loud. And it's this party vibe. We like to create theatre whenever it comes to our lives, whereas some people, they can make the same money as us, but they're just sitting on a chair and they're just doing their makeup or they're just doing something super stripped back and simple. So it's about finding what works for you and what works for your business. And again, it comes back to try different things and you will figure out what works for you. You'll figure out pretty quickly. Like I know now if we sit down and do a live and it's very muted and not like theatre and creating noise and chaos, that doesn't work for us, and that's fine. Just experiment. That's all I would say.
Yeah, it's take a while to figure out what, and I think if you know your audience well, you'll know it's no different than creating an event for your business or, you know, any kind of like marketing thing. You need to think about what they want to see. Same with TikTok. And I've written here, I've talked about content creators, influencers, like going live. There, actually, I'm just talking about myself, what you've wrote me into. So going live on behalf of the brand or with the brand. So how does that work? Is that like, you know, you're reaching out to them, say, will you be part of this campaign, pinpointing them on a podcast and making them say yes in front of everybody? Is this the way it works? What way does that work?
There's so many different ways. Like we have worked with creators from the get-go on TikTok Shop, and we do work with them on our live streams. So like we would have somebody from like HQ with an influencer at the time. So there's so many different ways. Like I have seen brands who outreach to like a creator and they just go on from home, they log on from home. We have never done that now, but that is something that works as well. So again, everything comes back to like just finding what works for your business. Like if you know that you trust Caroline and Caroline can go on from home, like I've often seen you on Instagram going on, just jumping on from home and going on with another brand. They might want to do that. They might want to split screen it. They might want to let you take the reins and you just go on your own, or they might want you to come into HQ. Because one thing that we do is packing lives. So we print and pack the orders there.
Talk about that. People are obsessed with that.
Oh, people love it. People love it. And we love it as well. It's so fun. And people just get excited to see. I think it's like there's instantaneous. It's like, do you know when if you order something like off ASOS or some other online like retailer, you don't have that. It says you've got next day delivery, and next day delivery is no longer a thing because it comes 5 days later now. So people saying that they've placed the order 10 minutes ago and it's getting packed right there just creates this buzz, and people really, really love it, and they get immersed in it, and they say, oh, throw me in a free gift. So they have the banter with you then, because you have like they've gained your trust, you've gained their trust, and you've created this relationship that they can have the banter with you and be like, ach, Michéal, go on, throw me in a free gift. Ach, Aoife, will you do that? Double up my order there. When will that be with me? Blah, blah, blah. And it just created this really great community for us. Like out of everything, strip back your sales, strip back your growth, whatever, the best thing we've got out of TikTok Shop is this community. It's amazing. Like it's honestly the best thing that we've got. And like we would often go out at the weekend, or you'd be out and about and someone would come over to you and say, I love watching your lives. And she'll say, I'm Caroline. And I'd be like, oh, Caroline, like you were on last night. And it's just great because you don't get that anywhere else.
Wow.
You would never get that online. You would never get that in wholesale. Like to an element, you would get that if you walked into a retailer shop, yes, but you don't get that same experience that the same people coming in every day, and they just, it's almost like switching on the TV at night and they're watching like one of the soaps. They're switching on to watch you. So it's really great, and it's quite rewarding as well, because one thing, why do I feel weirdly emotional about this, but a lot of people have came on the live and said like, yous have got me through a treatment, or yous have got me through like I'm lonely or whatever it is. Like they've gained, like we have gained such trust in them. Like out of everything, you can't beat that feeling. Like that's an intangible feeling that you can't have anywhere else. And that's just something that's truly, truly special.
It really is. And you're right, people are watching it, like they sit down to watch TV or Netflix, or whatever, they're sitting down to watch a live with you guys. But how do you keep it going? Like 12 hours especially. How do you keep people interested? What way do you approach that when you're trying to, do you plan that out? Is that just let's see how this goes with our usual way? How do you do that, keep people?
No, a lot goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot, especially if you're doing a 12-hour live, and especially if you're doing a showcase live. But even on daily lives, like there's a lot of like strategy that goes into that. There's a lot of planning. It could be even something so simple as like trying to plan who's actually going on the live can be a headache. Aoife, she can probably speak better than me, but Aoife and Sean from Be Perfect plan all of the hosts that go on the lives. And people management, as you know, can be tough. People can be like annoying, but they can also be really easy as well. So it just comes with its peaks and troughs, and people are busy outside of work, and it's a commitment for our hosts as well. So right up to or from planning who's going on the live, to planning what products they're going to be selling, what time they're selling the products, are we going to do any giveaways, are we going to do any different strategies than we done the night before? everything is different every night. So before you actually set the phone up and click live, there's a lot of time and effort that's went into getting those people to that point. So for the bigger lives, it's like I often refer to it like running a marathon, like 5 marathons in a day, because it's a feeling that I've never felt before. You also work closely with the team from China that come directly from TikTok, and they strategize with you. Now, their culture is different to ours in terms of behavior and consumer buying habits. So it's trying to work with them and see what works for us and not work for them. And then on the day, it's super reactive. So I could plan a bundle with Brendan and say, we're putting X, Y, and Z into this. This is the price we're going to do it for. It's going to fly, and you get on that live. It does not move.
Okay.
You have to be reactive. You need to know, okay, so this is not working. We've got this target. How am I getting myself out of this? So you need to have plan B, plan C, plan D, and you need to move. You need to give yourself a second to think and just move to the next one. It's like the craziest feeling you'll ever think, yeah. And you have people behind the cameras shouting, move on, 10 left, do this, do that. And it's just like overwhelming and overstimulating at times as well, because you're trying to talk to people on a camera. You're trying to like pack your orders. You're trying to listen to people here, there and everywhere. But again, it's such a fun experience. It's like, where else would I ever get this?
And nowhere.
No,
and I suppose
nowhere.
If that sounds overwhelming to people, do you just keep being yourself through that? Like, didn't hear what you said there. What was that? Or do you like? I mean, are you trying to be super like, got it, it all going on here? Or are you just...
At the start, yes.
Okay.
Now I'm like, just chill, because once I start letting the pressure creep in is when I'll crack. And we're all the same. But I feel like we've all now grown to know how to act in those situations, that we just kind of laugh it off, move on, and just keep going.
And if you were doing, so say for example, you're going to sell your products or your bundles, there's only so much you can say, right, I'm going to pack this up. Would you ever do demos with them then? What way do you do it?
It completely depends. That's something that I personally find for us doesn't work.
Too slow.
Which you would think would work, considering like a straightener is like instant results, but it just slows the pace down.
Okay.
We are very much like go, 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 right, get this in your basket.
It's like a party when you're watching it.
Yeah, and it's very much like high energy from the start to the end. Whereas like Denise, now if Denise goes on a live, she's a different host to who I am. And if she educates you and she demos, that works for her, but it won't work for me. Yeah. So again, it's about finding what works for different people. So you've obviously, Denise and you've worked with Denise, but once Denise starts talking about the products, she's so captivating. She knows them inside out. She knows what's going to work for you. What works for Caroline might not work for Michéal. So if you're a Caroline, you need this. If you're a Michéal, you need this. Yeah. And this is how you use them. And this is how often you use them. So she's super captivating in how she educates. We educate because it's so important to educate for our products, but we educate in a different way than Denise does. Yeah. We're very fun and very involving, and you get in them comments and you tell us what do you use and where do you use and what's your hair like. We just educate, but we educate in a different way to Denise. Okay. But it still works, but just in a different way.
And good to have that mix too for different
100%,
people jumping on. So how do you create that urgency without like making people feel like you're really trying to just get the money off them? That's just what it's about. But how do you create that? Do you just keep saying this is going to sell out, or like keeping them, I need this? How do you create that urgency?
Yeah, there's so many different ways. So they have a flash sale tool. So that is something that will set up a countdown. And for example, on Velvet Crown, we could set up a flash sale for 15 minutes and it's £10, for example. It will count down. So we'll say, right guys, it's going to be £10 for 10 minutes. Go, 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 get it into the basket. So we'll crack on, we'll continue on with the live, we'll pack orders, we'll talk about other offers, and then we'll be like, Aoife might jump in and say, right, you've 6 minutes left on that. Then you move on, and then we'll do this whole countdown. We'll do 10, 9, 8, and then everyone gets it into the baskets, and then it goes right back up to full price. Then you move on to the next one. Right. So that's one example.
And is that tech behind the scenes helping you with that from TikTok? With that,
we do it ourselves.
You do it yourself?
We do it ourselves.
What, just set up a timer and count it down like that, do you mean?
So they have like a flash sale tool, which I can actually have my phone in my hand whilst I'm on live. I can pin products, which is whenever it flashes up on the screen. So we do that all from our phone whilst we're live. Then the flash sale one, you just set that up and then it runs for you. They also have giveaway tools, so you might give away a free product, and again it runs for 15 minutes and you can set up different rules. It might be leave a comment, might be follow, leave a comment, do whatever. And again, it's another way that drives traffic to your live, because if your live has good engagement, it's going to TikTok will push you out to the algorithm, because TikTok's algorithm is completely different to any other social media like platform out there. They want to push like the content and the lives that's doing really well. So that's why we encourage like get as many comments in, get as much likes in. So you'll often hear us saying, right, everyone will do a giveaway once we get to 100,000 likes. So you had to tap. And then it's just about creating like key goals for the consumer to reach, and then they'll unlock something from us. So we often find whenever we do a giveaway, we might be on 200 viewers on our live, and it might go up to 400 viewers. So it's just all about engaging the customer as much as possible, and then getting into the checkout as well.
Amazing. That is all a strategy, isn't it? And having that planned, right, we're going to do this at this point and this at this point to keep it moving, keep high energy. Like I'm thinking of all, like even clothing retailers, like the opportunities are endless here as well. Like maybe picking a particular blazer and pushing it just for one night only, just to get rid of that stock, or, you know, really. Like it's always clothing in my head, because I used to have a shop. Like, how could you do this if you had clothes? But there's so many different things here.
There's so much.
Sunglasses,
like,
I'm thinking of optician sunglasses. Oh my God, my mind's racing. Unbelievable.
No, honestly, there's just endless opportunity.
And I've written here, like, you see that footage from those lives, can that be repurposed in any way for anything?
Yes, so now TikTok will say to you at the end of the live, like they will actually, I don't know how they do it, whether it's like an AI thing or whatever, but they will like pinpoint like whether it's a moment that has high engagement, whether it's a moment that has high sales, whether it's a moment that you had the most comments. They will actually give you them as clips.
Oh, no way.
That you can repurpose and post onto your feed. So they'll at the end of the live, it'll say like most clicks, most comments, blah blah blah, and you can just click in and then you can post that straight to your feed.
Brilliant. Because that's real, like, kind of, well, it's making the most out of the time you've spent there, and then just really having a knock-on effect after, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, because then if you're going live for 4 hours, once you click in, people often think, well, I've just wasted 4 hours because I can't repurpose that. So it's such a great tool to have.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And one thing as well that we would often do, especially if we're on like a 12-hour live, is Aoife will jump off the live whilst I'll be on it, and she'll say, can you do a quick video? So I might do a quick video and say, guys, we're live right now, come join us, we're doing X, Y, and Z, and she posts that straight up onto the page, and we might do that 6 times throughout the day. Okay. So it's about engaging that customer that's not watching you yet to get to watch you.
And would you do that across the other platforms as well? Would you go onto Instagram and say,
yes,
to go over
we
to
do, yeah.
the other platform? Do you say
the other platform? Yeah. So that's actually one thing for people who is starting to note, that you can't say go to the website or go to Instagram whilst you're on a TikTok live, or they'll violate you. So they can give you like violations. So if you get 3 violations, your account like maybe at risk of getting closed down, whether it's for 24 hours or whatever they decide. So you have to be super careful, because one thing that TikTok want is they want the user to come onto the platform and stay there. So you have to be super careful with that as well. It even falls back to like product claims. So you have to be super careful what you're claiming that your product can do, because if you don't meet their criteria, you'll get violated for it as well. So just for anybody that's listening that wants to get on, just give yourself a wee bit of education, especially if you have something that's a little bit more specialized as a product. Especially for our gummies, it took us ages to find the, like, not a loophole, but just to actually find the wording. Even with the re-energizing range, which is our hair loss range, they will still flag to us if we're on a live, we say hair loss, because it's almost saying that it's going to prevent hair loss. It's something that they need to use over time to see. It does do that. We're not just making false claims. We're obviously saying it because we've got clinical testing. But you have to be careful about what you say and just make sure that you follow their rules.
Yeah, which is good to know too, that they're being, you know, like monitoring that, because people not just claiming.
Yeah, see, this is what freaks me out, because it's almost like Big Brother, because you could be on a live stream and it'll say violated for saying hair loss, and I'm like, how did they know that we said that? Like, is there people watching? So I don't understand how it works.
AI.
But yeah, we just have to be careful.
Yeah, it's good to know though. And what about the people who came on the live and didn't buy? Is there a way to remarket the people who are onto the live or anything like that?
No, not really. You just have to keep pushing out through organic content and keep shouting from the rooftops to get them to come over. Now for us, we often find that people do say, oh, I was thinking about buying this last night, but I wasn't sure, but now you've explained it, I'll do it. So we do get people coming back to us. Yeah. The thing about TikTok as well, and do you ever find, I'm sure people can relate to this, but do you ever find that you might be talking, so me and you could be having a conversation now about Velvet Crown, you go onto your phone,
yes,
and it's there, and you're like,
following you
what the
around.
hell, where did this come from? But the TikTok algorithm kind of works like that. If you watch something and then you go on the next day again, they'll show it to you again just to kind of give you a second chance to see if you're interested in that content. If you're not, then that'll slowly disappear. But I think that's one thing that works for us as well.
Okay. And what about Instagram? They're not doing that type of live shopping. You'd wonder why they're not
They're
picking up on
behind.
this. They are.
Yeah.
Because like we've all kind of mastered the Instagram thing. Imagine if they started to embrace that too. Would they be as quick to catch up as TikTok? TikTok just seemed to have it nailed, but amazing if other platforms started to utilise this as well.
100%, yeah. Now we would still do the odd Instagram live because that's where like our core audience
And
is.
would you sell from it?
Yes, and we sell differently to how we would
Yes.
sell on TikTok. TikTok is instantaneous. It's right in front of you and it's there to buy, add it into your basket, check out and move on. It's different on Instagram because you still have the live stream element. You just need to redirect. So if we're doing an Instagram live, we might hook them in with, we're doing this tonight, we might have an exclusive bundle, or we'll give you an exclusive discount code only for this 2 hours. The only difference is you have to come off the live. The viewers drop off, they have to go to the website, they have to shop the website, they have to check out, put the discount code on, and then come back. So there's just a few extra steps there. Now we do find that they still work for us, but it's just harder for the user. And that's what I hate. I'm like, let's create the best user experience as possible. That's not the best experience for me to give out as our business, but it still works. So if you're not too keen on that and you know you have a great audience on Instagram, definitely use it. Definitely use it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people are maybe even thinking that way, about it, but it's definitely maybe a way to test it before you launch into the TikTok world.
Yeah, 100%.
What's happening? What can actually they be doing even more? But is there anything cool or exciting happening on TikTok now that all the AI tools are coming in? What's anything?
Yeah, so TikTok ads has just recently changed. So like we would invest like quite a lot into our ads, and there's many different ways that you can run an ad, a Spark ad, an affiliate ad. But they've introduced something called GMV Max, which is this AI bot that just picks your best performing content and just automatically pulls it into an ad. Whereas beforehand, it was us saying, we want to run this ad, let's get this ad set up, and hand picking the content. I'm still on the fence about how it's working because what we have found is it might pull like a good performing piece of content from 6 months ago that has no relevancy to what we're trying to promote now. Like over the weekend, I seen one there from Belfast Marathon, which was a really good performing piece of content, but they've just pulled it into shoppable content, even though there was no product in it, there was no selling in it. So I was like, this is us wasting money because we're trying to push products here. It's saying buy Velvet Crown, but it's just a montage of somebody running the marathon. It just didn't make sense. So I think it needs a little bit of tweaking more on their behalf. I'm still more so on the side of let's just pick the ads ourselves and let's just push what we want to push, because it can get a little bit random. And like we've seen as well, like a lot of Black Friday videos from last year has been pulled in. And the thing
is it just going ahead and approving that without your say-so? Is it?
Yeah. Oh. So you'll set like a budget for ads and you'll say like, this is our budget, this is a ROAS target that we need to hit, blah, 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 whatever that may look like. It will just work away at it. So then we're getting comments through being like, this isn't £10. And then you're clicking in and it's a £10 Velvet Crown from November 2024. So I'm just not convinced on it just yet. I think the whole AI thing in general, I'm not really convinced on just yet. I know it works in an amazing way, but I just think human hands are the best hands to get things going, especially when you know your business inside out.
So true, so true. Yes, it can help us. It's the same way there's loads of tools you can use to edit podcasts, and they'd say, they sell it to you, like they pull out the key pieces of content. And then I'm like, I can't use that. That's not what I know my audience want to hear. Yeah. Those bits they pulled out. So it hasn't worked for me yet for editing the podcast anyway. But I do know there's place for it. But that's interesting to hear. You don't want them spending your money like on something that is not going to have impact. I could talk to you all day, but I think that's a good start for people. We could overwhelm if we go even more. Like they need to get started, get in there, start to find out about the platform, figure out all the different tech side of what buttons mean what, and just get started. Quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Go for it.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
One thing every brand should stop doing on TikTok.
Worrying.
Love it. Best performing type of content for Voduz?
The staff.
Biggest oh shit moment on a campaign?
I don't have one because I just learn and move on. And I think, yeah, no, don't have one.
Most underrated tool or app that you swear by?
Me and Aoife was talking about this, and it's an OG one, but I always revert back to Pinterest.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Why?
for
Well,
inspo.
For inspo.
For my job, I do right across our omni-channel business. So it might be something for a retail space, it might be something for a photo shoot, whatever. And I just feel like it has everything that I need just
Yeah.
to get the brain ticking.
It is. It's a great wee app for sure. Creator or founder who sells a product best on live? Oh,
Founder.
yeah. Brandon's got
Especially on the TikTok space.
Yeah.
Founder. It's so founder-led.
your go-to TikTok hook line.
Come on, everybody. So can I actually give a bit of backstory about this?
Yeah.
We all say this now because we had an event and a girl, Emma, that works for us, got on the mic and started singing and randomly just started singing it, come on, everybody. So we've just taken this into our lives thing and it works so well. And everyone in the comments says it to us. They're like, come on, everybody. Because it's like, come on, everybody. And it's like, get in your basket. So that's what we always say. Or another one is go, go, go. Because Brandon always says that.
Okay, good. And they're now kind of associated with you guys in the brand. And
Yeah.
that's when you know things are getting done right when it comes to Brandon. Dream brand or influencer that you'd love to work with?
Oh God, this is probably going to be really cheesy, but I think we work with them and it's Be Perfect. I think we're just a dream blend of brands. So yeah, I think we're already working with each other as a dream together.
One word to describe your marketing style.
Ooh, forward thinking. I know that's technically 2 words, but
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, embracing all what's coming ahead of you. If you, Michéal Campbell, weren't in marketing, what would you be doing?
This is funny because I actually had this conversation recently with, I think it was Brendan or maybe it was Denise, and I said, God, I would just love to go and work in a wee corner shop somewhere and just like not have the chaos of this. But that was me on a meltdown week, and I'm like, do you know what? I actually wouldn't change anything because my job is so fast paced. I've learned so much. I'm not even 30, and like I often have to check myself and be like, where I am in my career right now is just amazing. So it's just about giving myself the credit, which I don't really do. But yeah, find me a wee corner shop somewhere. I'll just have the locals come in. I'll talk to them. I'll give them the paper, their milk, their eggs, and say, see you later.
Michéal, you wouldn't. You would be doing TikTok shop lives. I know it in there in that corner shop because
well,
that's the type of you.
That's exactly what Brandon said. He would say, you would die in there after a day. He was like, you would die.
You only think you want to be glad I'm the same, but then you'd find drama along the way.
Yeah,
you know, right?
Drama always finds me.
Marketeer. Thank you for being on the Dig podcast. I can't wait for our live now. You can let me know when that's going to happen. I can let everybody know on my socials as well. Now, where can everybody follow along? Is it on the Voduz? Tell us where people can follow all the lives and everything you guys are doing.
Yes, so if you're in the UK, our handle for TikTok is Voduz Her, and if you're in the Republic of Ireland, it's voduzher.ie. So you need to be on the specific one for your region, otherwise you'll not see the shop. So that's where you'll find us, and then everywhere else we are at Voduz Her.
Yes, you are. And you do post on your own. You be on LinkedIn. And for any business people that want to get updates on what Michéal's doing in this space and his marketing, he's on LinkedIn as well. And we'll link that in the show notes. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you.
It was amazing. And for you to just spill all that out for free. It's just why I love doing the podcast. And thank you for your continued support and working with me as well. I love working with the Voduz team.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank you.